All right, everybody, and welcome back to another Tuesday night, which means it's another episode of Show Choir Nation. I am your host, William. Alongside me, other way, is my co-host, Ethan, and we are just going to launch straight into it. We had a lot of action. The snow did not deter everything, and we have got lots of show choir action to cover.
What? Okay. Another fastest 3 minutes. Here we go. At the A-Town Showdown, people were feeling ill with the symptoms of a red-hot Titan fever. I'm sorry. Westfield was able to illuminate the crowd to a division win with the choreography, while Lebanon gets back on track with a 2-caption win in Tier 2. Glenwood battled the Winter Storms and moved better than the rest, earning best choreography in band, but it was not enough as Columbus North takes vocals and the A-Town Showdown crown.
At the Altoona Locopalooza, the train tracks that Altoona is known for brought several groups into town, ranging from Ashland on the North Shore of Wisconsin down all the way to groups like Toma from the southern part of the state, and also 3 groups from Minnesota that all made finals. It was a surprise second place showing from Eau Claire North, but in the end, Jefferson Connection rode the rails all the way to their first grand championship since 2022.
Hastings uncaged the Tiger and allowed these choirs to clash in Nebraska. Much like a $5 footlong, Lincoln Chain Reaction was sandwiched between 2 Grand Island choirs, one with a senior discount. However, one choir is seriously addicted to adding gold hardware to the trophy case. 14 karat gold wins their second in a row. Best vocals, best choreography.
The Gretna East Echoes of the East echoed the sounds of several of Nebraska's top choirs. However, they had one challenger from Iowa, and Linmar 10th Street Edition echoed through the halls of the Grand Hotel. They outpaced the likes of 2 schools from Elkhorn, plus a school from Millard and a school from Gretna. 10th Street Edition vocals, choreography, band, their 19th consecutive win.
The Johnson Showzam had us feeling like we were in Hollywood, as we had executives in suites picking side one over the other. Many believed the Millennium Falcon would be soaring to great heights in this film, but the Academy ultimately decided that the cult classic Little House on the Prairie was a better fit for the bill. People always say studios run Hollywood, and I think they are right. Urbandale, best vocals, best choreography.
The Hoover Show Choir SmackDown was on the ropes for its inaugural event after some cautious travel plans forced out-of-state power Brandon to withdraw. However, in an improbable Cinderella story comeback, the competition went on in the face of forecasted ice storms. The only large division group, Spain Park Rhapsody in Blue, took chairs to all of the middle division groups, outlasting Tift County, Enterprise, and Vestavia Hills. Spain Park Rhapsody in Blue, best vocals, their first win since 2007.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Milton,
Rock the Rock. Tonight's main event, a heavyweight rematch with Waconia and DePer. Who will win round 2? A tight battle for the final round saw Pizza Roll Grace Company of Sceners and Wabanzi Valley Soundcheck edge out their opponents. Silver Connection and Executive Sessions danced around the ring, but pulled back on punches, landing 4th and 3rd respectively. Waconia and DePer go the distance, but Jam Session landed the knockout blow, earning GC best vocals, best choreography.
The music was certainly alive at Millard West. Music lives in Omaha, and multiple groups with new directors for this year were also trying to come alive. Millard South debuting with a 4th place finish, and several groups who thought they could have it all made finals but could not stand a chance against Westside Amazing Technicolor Show Choir in what echoes back to the classic years of ATSC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total captions for ATSC, along with the win.
Winter was wintering at the Skutt Catholic Showcase, which caused some groups to back out. But what is that? Is that a bird? No. Is it a plane? No. Is it the Chesterton Show Choir program? Yes. They showed up more out of the blue than Plattsmouth, who won their division. Chesterton lives up to the Drifter's name, floating to comp out of state. However, they won't go home empty-handed. GC sweeps in Varsity and Trouble for Chesterton.
The North Royalton Showdown in Ohio featured a showdown of two racing shows in the small mixed division, with Strongsville Mustang Express living up to their name, taking fourth place in small mixed, and Van Buren, the association, gathering together to take third place in their division. The showdown was also between two groups in the large mixed division, the Kenton Top 20 and the Garfield Heights Music Express. Well, I say you can have your lasagna and eat it too, because Garfield Heights takes home Best Vocals and the win, their first since 2020.
In Sparta, where everything is on the line always, nothing was more sure than the Outstanding Soloist in Show Awards. Congratulations to Indigo Gabriel on breaking the record for the most known soloist awards in history. And congratulations also to Hal LeMaster for adding to now his extensive collection of his own. Now back to the action where, like a burst of adrenaline, Bloomington Kennedy was able to get a taste of victory after a second place finish at Onalaska. Speaking of Onalaska, they have yet to reach the hilltop after two competitions. A battle ends with Rhythm finishing with gold, Best Vocals, Best Choreography.
The South Jones Invitational stood firm against the weather that canceled the Northwest Rankin Music Fest just a little bit to the north, with some groups shifting in and shifting out, with like Biloxi and Jackson Academy. The outcome of the event was a little bit up in the air. However, it didn't take much imagination to figure out the winner, as West Jones Imagination took home a full sweep, vocals, choreo, and show design for the overall grand championship. And at Standing Bear, the first public high school in Nebraska named after a Native American leader, there were plenty of groups looking to lead the field. Elkhorn Excel and Burke Synergy scored solid finals appearances, steps forward for their programs as choirs. Pius X Spectrum spanned this year with a new head director, and Norris Gold brought it with their Friday Night Lights show. However, at the top, it was Lincoln Southwest Resonance, gaining their first win of the year at the Summit. Vocals, visuals, and band.
What a week of competitions. What a fastest 3 minutes. Good job, Will. Good job, Will.
Thank you. Thank you.
I need to read through mine before I start, because I just need to be better, like on flow and stuff. Like
I need to write mine down before starting.
I'm stumbling a little bit. All right, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Will, let's get going. Let's get going.
One of the competitions of the week last week was the Gretna East Echoes of the East. The results of this one: in sixth place, Papillion La Vista Free Spirit; in fifth place, Millard North Infinity; in fourth place, Elkhorn South Blackout; in third place, Elkhorn North Adrenaline; in second place, Gretna Revolution; and in first place with vocals, choreo, and band, Lynn Marr 10th Street Edition. And Ethan, I could ask you to analyze this competition. However, I will toss it to someone who is there. Everyone, please welcome to the show Homeroom Show Choir Siouxland contributor Quinn Masick. Quinn, how was your experience at Gretna East this past weekend?
It was really good. First of all, fast 3 minutes. I agree. No, it was a really solid competition. Going for finals. Wasn't there for prelims, but we saw the finals order, so it was ranked. I said, really? And then me and my buddy watched it and watched all finals, and we're like, you know what? I get it. Papillion La Vista, I saw them last week at Lynn Marr, and this was definitely a step up from last week's performance in prelims. Millard North, I was very impressed with their show. I really liked their band, and I totally could have seen them had Lynn Marr not been there. We'll get to that in a second. Having one of the better bands of the day, Elkhorn South, after seeing them beat Sioux City East last weekend, having a really good showing here. And honestly, I think I'm going to see them later in the season too, so I'm excited to see how that'll turn out. Elkhorn North was the biggest surprise for me. Two Elkhorn groups, two of them both choreographed by Matt Watson. This does not feel like a Matt Watson choreographed group at all. It feels more like a Lexi Robson choreography, if that makes sense at all. But no, their third place placement was definitely worth it. Gretna's, I love Gretna's show. I really loved Gretna's show. I need to find a video of that now, because that was really good. Had Lynn Marr not been there, I fully believe Gretna would have probably swept this competition with vocals, band, and choreo. But of course, Lynn Marr 10th Street Edition, they're one of the best groups in the entire nation, and they absolutely showed that this past weekend at Gretna East. So it was a really wonderful competition. Probably like one of the only times where I've like 100% agreed with all of the results. That doesn't happen often in show choir. So that was really nice to see.
Ethan, what say you about these results?
Yeah, so we already touched on a lot. Great job, Quinn. Must have been a blast to see. There's so many amazing choirs.
Oh yeah,
like you said. The thing that jumps off the page to me, just a little like headlines, tabloids. It's, I mean, Lamar's still Lamar. Gretna is still Gretna. I mean, they're two amazing choirs. And then we look back at two choirs who had a lot of success a week before in Miller North and Elkhorn South. They didn't finish in, they didn't finish top three. So that just shows how competitive this scene is and how ever changing it is, especially the first couple of weeks out. Kind of going off of what you said, Quinn, another thing you brought to my attention, or maybe remember, how if Linn-Mar wasn't here, how good Gretna could have placed. They have a really good opportunity next week against some amazing choirs to really show that they are cream of the crop. So I can't wait to see how they do next week. They did great this week. They really put up a good shot against Linn-Mar. Linn-Mar, of course, is just one of the best in the country. So just kind of how the dominoes fall, and I love how competitive this seems.
I do want to give a quick shout out to Lincoln East, who was a last-minute withdrawal due to sickness. So all of our Lincoln East peeps, please rest up and get healthy. And longtime viewers of the show, i.e. those of you who watched last week, know that I made a public apology to the Millard North Show Choir program. I would like to make a public apology to the Elkhorn North Show Choir program. I was not familiar with your game, and I will not underestimate you again. It's my right hand. It's going over my heart. I will not underestimate you again, Elkhorn North. I see you. I hold your space, and I understand it now, or at least I think I understand it. So shout out Elkhorn North. Always super fun to see surprises early in the season, and this is one of the best kinds of surprises to get. We'll move over one state to the east to Iowa. The results of the Johnston Showzam: in sixth place, Norwalk Sound Revolution. In fifth place, Indianola Side 1. In fourth place, Sioux Falls Roosevelt Executive Suite. In third place, Waukee Millennium. In second place with Best Band, Prairie the Ambassadors. And in first place with Best Vocals and Best Choreography, Urbandale Studio. Ethan, I'll toss this one to you first. Urbandale gets their first win under the leadership of Adam Brown.
Yeah, so, I mean, Urbandale takes care of business, right? Congratulations to Adam Brown and company. Amazing win. We all saw this opportunity coming, especially after they get Best Vocals against Waukee Northwest. Amazing choir. They didn't win that competition. They ended up getting second. However, you see, a vocal caption split kind of like that, how close it is. Yeah, just an amazing choir who you expect to be at the top of the leaderboard. A lot of people had, Waukee Millennium. Yes, they're still that choir that, was so good for so long, and they kind of sat in the middle of the pack, and now they're slowly back on that rise again with Tony Dam. Many saw that this was kind of like a breakout moment for them, finishing above Urbandale and a bunch of other amazing choirs. However, Prairie had different plans. Prairie's always that kind of, they're that choir that is just so feisty. They always go to these national competitions, and I feel like they get oversighted a lot. However, they're always finishing in finals, always giving a good battle, and they gave a really good battle here to Waukee, Sioux Falls, Roosevelt, Indianola, and Norwalk. I don't know how the gap between Urbandale and Prairie and Waukee was. However, you just have to give your flowers to Prairie for an amazing outing that, probably not a lot of people saw happening besides the people in that building. So I have to give them their flowers.
Absolutely. Quinn, do you have anything to add on to that?
I will say when we got prelim results for this competition, I was still at Millard West. Their auditorium has bleachers, and I saw that, and because I saw Urbandale on first, and I was so excited, I stomped my foot really loud, and I was sitting back next to a bunch of titanium parents, so I accidentally scared them, and I said, "That's my bad." I got excited. I saw Urbandale in first, and I got really excited. So that's on me. But yeah, seeing Urbandale take grand champion at this competition, oh, it warms my heart. I really liked their show. It was my favorite show when I was at Linmar's competition. So seeing them take grand champion at Johnston was really, really, really nice for me to see.
Yeah, I do want to also give a shout to Dowling. Dowling Dimensions, they did not make finals. However, they were in their first competition under a new director. Ali Pauly, 2021 Ankeny Centennial grad, 2025 Iowa State grad, which means that I am now older than the incoming crop of new show choir directors. So that makes me feel a little bit like Unk, as the kids say. Who knows if I use that correctly, but I am really excited to see where Dowling goes. I think they have a couple really good private schools in Iowa that do show choir in Bishop Elin and Des Moines Christian, and I would love if Dowling could enter into that conversation as well. You can throw Cedar Rapids Xavier in that conversation as well.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll head up from Iowa to Wisconsin to the Milton Rock the Rock. The results of this one: in 6th place, Totino Grace Company of Singers. In 5th place, Waubonsee Valley Soundcheck. In 4th place, Monona Grove Silver Connection. In 3rd place, Sauk Prairie Executive Session. In 2nd place, Waconia Power Company. And in 1st place, with Best Vocals, Best Choreography, and Best Band, De Pere Jam Session. I'll open the floor up to either one of you. What is the headline here?
I mean, the fact that Jam Session was able to, be consistent and we're able to hold off against Waconia once again, I feel like that just shows a huge testament to the program as a whole. It's really easy to get happy after 1 week. You get one win, practices are a little bit easier, so on and so forth. However, they looked at the schedule and they're like, guys, they can get their get back, as we love to say. We love to say get back. Waconia had a shot to get their get back. Jam Session was able to prevail. I was between this competition and another competition, just flipping back and forth, and I was so happy to catch some of the groups. From my state, Waubonsee Valley, I feel like they put on an amazing show. I feel like they are taking steps in the right direction, and I love seeing that. I sadly missed the other choirs in the field. I miss Sauk Prairie. I miss Totino Grace. I miss Monona Grove. However, I know they put on amazing shows, and knowing how Waubonsee did, because I watched them, their shows must have been fantastic. So just a great field, a great day on Milton. I know it must have been freezing up there. I mean, was it freezing up there?
I was not there, but
I know you weren't there, but being the Wisconsinite.
Well, for Wisconsin standards, it wasn't that cold. I mean, they weren't going to cancel it. They had an indoor
I was
loading
getting
dock.
scared for it. I was getting scared because other competitions were dropping kind of. So I was
all 3 competitions in Wisconsin on Saturday went on. We're not scared of the weather.
So real. So real.
Quinn, I know this is a bit out of the Sioux land, but anything that you want to add in here?
I mean, the only thing I can really add is just seeing Totino Grace in 6th was a little shocking to me, considering their season last year. But I will see both Waconia and Totino Grace this upcoming weekend. So, it just makes me more excited to see those shows now.
For sure. I do want to give a shout out to Sauk Prairie. This is a group that I saw at Holman on January 10th. And since then, they have proceeded to place on the podium twice. And I think this is the best season that Sauk Prairie's had since at least 2023. They will go up against a very interesting field of choirs, including Davenport North and Glenwood at Fort Atkinson in a couple weeks. They'll go up against De Pere at Monona Grove, and then they will head down to Biloxi, Mississippi at the end of their season. And I have no idea who they're going to face at Biloxi. We know it's not going to be Clinton. It might be Grenada. I don't know if Sauk Prairie has an opportunity to perhaps win this year, but I think on the whole, they will put together an incredibly solid season. So I do want to give a shout to Matt, Jen, Evan, Steve, the entire team at Sauk Prairie, obviously all of the performers as well. So that would be my pitch-in for this one as well. We will move back to Nebraska for the Millard West Music Lives event. The results of this one: In sixth place, West Side Simply Irresistible. In fifth place, Sioux Falls Jefferson Legacy. In fourth place, Millard South South on Stage. In third place, Omaha South The Ambassadors. In second place, Papillion La Vista South Titanium. And in first place, with best vocals, best choreography, best band, and 4 miscellaneous captions, Omaha West Side Amazing Technicolor Show Choir. Ethan, I will toss one question to you first, and then Quinn, I will toss a question to you second. Ethan, what does it mean for West Side to come out and absolutely dominate the captions at this competition after placing third at Gretna the week before?
It's gotta feel good, doesn't it? It's gotta feel good coming home with this much hardware. It's kind of funny. You look at their last competition; they definitely didn't get what they wanted. A handful of these groups, I feel like they didn't get placements that they wanted at their last competition. However, they really came out and showed out. West Side, of course, being the pinnacle, winning almost every single caption, and that goes for Simply Irresistible too. Simply Irresistible, I don't think won their division last time out. I feel like they were third. And they're one of those choirs treble choirs that is just fantastic. Always finals bound. Always a threat to these mixed groups. They showed that here, getting their get back, getting into finals for the first time this season. So huge just for the West Side program. Getting that treble victory, getting the mixed victory, and getting a slew of captions with it. It has to feel good.
Quinn, I will toss this one to you next. Sioux Falls Jefferson was in third place in prelims, ahead of both Millard South and Omaha South. Obviously, those results changed a little bit for finals. Did you think that all of these three choirs were close enough that their placements could mix like this?
Yeah, I think so. I think in prelims, it was definitely a toss-up between Jefferson and Omaha South for me. So when I heard Jefferson was announced in third, I was like, yeah, I believe that. I fully believe that. Seeing them get bounced back to fifth kind of just shows the improvements both Omaha South and Millard South made during the time in between prelims and finals. I really like Omaha South's show. I really like their program because it's so completely different from anything else in Nebraska. Seeing West Side win, yeah, I saw their show. I looked at my friend. I said, yeah, they're gonna have a field day today, and I really liked it. I'm gonna see them in a couple weeks at Urbandale, where they go up against Linn-Mar and Johnson. But yeah, that third through fifth, yeah, I could totally that was absolutely I could totally see a mix up there.
That's absolutely fair. I just wanted to get some on the ground reporting, and this is some of what I absolutely just love about show choirs, because even when you announce prelim awards first, second, and third, all of a sudden finals comes around and the group that was third in prelims is fifth in finals. And this is not trying to poo-poo Sioux Falls Jefferson at all. It just means that these shows are pushing each other so much that, especially, I was in a group in high school that made its money making changes in between prelims and finals. And so to see all of these programs constantly push each other and push the art form forward is just spectacular. And it's why these competitions are just so great. We're going to move on, speaking of greatness, to the We Are So Back segment. So this is where each of us picks out one choir that we really liked over the course of the week, whether we saw them in person, we liked the results, something like that. One of us may have more than one choir picked out, but we will shoot for roughly 2 minutes a person. Ethan.
Yeah, well, there's definitely a lot of choirs that deserve their flowers and need to be announced as we are back. They are back. The choir that jumps off to me is of course a group that got GC Bloomington Jefferson. Have to give them their flowers. They are so back. First win since 2022. I just counted it up. I believe it was 18 competitions ago. So the fact that they were able to withhold that long and then finally get a taste of victory back in their mouths is fantastic for the program and fantastic for the whole school. They won at Eau Claire Memorial Winterfest in 2022. Just to read off the results because they're kind of fun. Bloomington Jefferson Connection. They had the best male soloist. They got the grand championships with Lacrosse Central. They got best vocals, best band, best crew, second place, and best choreography went to North St. Paul High School. And then the rest on the list goes Reedsburg, Toma, and West Salem. So kind of a fun little competition there where they got their last win until now. Congratulations to the Bloomington Jefferson program. Huge win for them.
Quinn, who is your pick?
I mean, I kind of talked about it earlier, but Urbandale, we're so back. I was really excited to see them win this past weekend. I think when Kevin Chase cooks, he cooks. He cooks really hard. And this is one of his better groups of the season I've seen. Vocals are also just absolutely outstanding. Now, Waukee and Urbandale have to go up against each other in a few weeks at Waukee Northwest, plus throw in Iowa City, throw in Ankeny Centennial. Yeah, let's see. We're just going to see how these results stand. Another one, the segment's called We're So Back, but Elkhorn North has been on the rise. They go up against Miller North again in a few weeks. So I'm interested to see, are those results going to change? Are they going to, bounce back? Is one going to sweep, or is it going to be a split caption decision? But I was really impressed with Elkhorn North when I saw them at Gretna East.
Yeah,
for sure. I have 3 groups that I've picked out, but there's a common theme through each of them. These are all groups that placed second at their competitions on Saturday, and they perhaps overperformed most of the expectations for them. I'm not saying that they overperformed their own expectations. Perhaps the community was caught a little lacking. But the first of these groups is Prairie, the Ambassadors. We did talk about the Johnston Shozam results here a little bit ago. And Prairie is one of those groups where I feel like it's super easy to get caught up in the rush of how many spectacular choirs there are in Iowa. But every once in a while, Prairie will just have this great result and remind everyone, hey, we're still here. We may be on the south side of Cedar Rapids and kind of in a weird spot between Linn-Mar and the Iowa City groups and whatever. But we are here. We're making noise. We're going to go down to Tupelo, Mississippi next month, and we're going to do hopefully very well there, bringing those Midwest vocals to a Southern competition. And this result, grabbing second in a field of highly, highly competitive choirs and best band as well, a week after placing 6th at Linn-Mar, was spectacular for them. The second one of these is Lincoln High out of Nebraska. Ethan mentioned this in his fastest 3-minute segment for the Hastings competition. But to place right in the middle of the 2 Grand Island groups, Grand Island Northwest and Grand Island Senior, at a competition where most everyone thought that both of those groups, plus maybe Kearney, would be the real showstoppers, is phenomenal. Colton McCauley has done so much for that program, really just outside of downtown Lincoln. Just if you shoot that little parkway, what is that? Not O Street, but K Street maybe. I forget what the exact street is, but you go out of downtown and you go a little south, and it's just this beautiful old school right on the parkway. They were not very much a finals contending choir. John Marquez Lamberty was there for a year, and then Colton McCauley has been there for the last several, and it's been great. And finally, the third one, I do have to give some love to my home state of Wisconsin, the Eau Claire North, not Eau Claire North, the Eau Claire North Northernaires, second place and best band at Altoona. This is Nair's best ever finish as a program. This is a group that really only started competing regularly about 2016. So not counting the COVID year, we're really only at about a decade of Eau Claire North competing regularly. And in the show choir world, that's really not all that long. And so Catherine Lofi and Shane Coe have been a good team for a few years. They have brought the group from not making finals at all in the 2023 season to starting to string some success together in 24 and 25. They've made 2 consecutive finals in 2026. I am almost ready to declare them my odds-on favorite to win the Medford Red White Spotlight at the end of February. And their Best Band Award, they also won one at Waconia last season, so now 2 straight seasons with a Best Band Award for Eau Claire North. Shout out to all my homies in the Northernaires. Moving to a look at this upcoming weekend, we are going to start with our Traveler Award for the week. So those of you who have followed this site for a few years know that we usually give a Traveler Homie Award at the end of the season for a group that travels a ridiculous amount, ridiculous in the best of ways, not in the worst of ways. We are doing that weekly now, and we have some really big trips in our comps of the week that we will be covering. So we try to pick one outside of that. And the biggest trip outside of that is Mitchell Friendicu going from Mitchell, South Dakota, all the way to who else but another group we just talked about, the Prairie Premier event. The drive for FDC is 427 miles or just under 6.5 hours. They will face Linn-Mar, Cedar Rapids, Kennedy, Liberty, Benton, and Waller Catholic. I'll toss this one to either of you two. Anything that Where do we think Mitchell's going to land? Any thoughts? Anything about Mitchell going to Prairie?
I mean, Mitchell does like at least 2 big travel competitions each season. Like this isn't even their biggest one. They're also going to Brownsburg. So that's way far. That is way farther than Cedar Rapids is. I'm shooting for Mitchell to get at least second or third. Because I don't know how Mitchell's going to do, but I think if they don't get second, Cedar Rapids Kennedy will. But I think if Mitchell does beat Kennedy this early in the season, then it does give them a fighting chance the following weekend at Papio South when they go up against Gretna and Millard West. So it's very exciting to see Mitchell travel to Cedar Rapids.
For sure. Ethan, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I just, got to give Mitchell their props. I mean, going up against good competition to begin the year. I mean, this is such a battle that people want to see. I mean, Linn-Mar versus Mitchell. Of course, it's going to put butts in the seats. I mean, this is what it's going to be. So I just have to give them a lot of props, taking it out of the gate the way they are. And who knows, maybe they can shock the world. Even though it wouldn't really be shocking the world, but since it's Linn-Mar, it'd probably be shocking the world. Breaking a streak that they have would be hard to do.
I am super excited to see how Mitchell does second year under the direction of Nick Cabarros and first with the choreography of Sam Mulligan. So perhaps we see a bit of a new look FDC. Perhaps we see the same old FDC just with a couple tweaks like every good show choir makes every season. We will have to see how that result plays out. We'll move to our first comp of the week, and that is the Lincoln East Spartan Spectacular, the mixed division lineup for this one. Grand Island Ultimate Image, Gretna East Equinox, Jenks Trojaneers, Lincoln Southwest Residents, Millard West West in the Groove, Millard South South on Stage, Norris Gold, and Standing Bear the Renegades. We are looking at 2 groups that both have wins this year, Gretna East and Lincoln Southwest, plus a debuting Millard West, who I believe a video of them may be circulating among the show choir group chats out there. They look mighty fine. But Quinn, I know you're going to be there, or you're not going to be there, but you know a lot about this. Ethan, I'll toss this one to you first.
Yeah. First off, Will, read off the judging panel, please.
Boy, you got to put me on the spot like that.
Okay, if you want me to read it, I will.
Hold on. No, I will.
The
The judging panel of the Lincoln East Spartan Spectacular, before Ethan can read it off, is Tori Brindis, Merrick Hover, Dorian Johnson, Nick McGraw, and David Mullenkamp.
What a panel. I mean,
That's a panel. That's a good panel.
I mean, my brain never thought it would see the day where it has Dorian Johnson and David Mullenkamp on at the same time, let alone have Nick McGraw, Merrick Hover, and Tori Brindis. I mean, what an amazing competition. This competition can go in so many different ways. I mean, like you said, Millard West first competition, just throwing themselves into the fire. I mean, every competition is the fire if you're Nebraska, but throwing themselves into the fire. Jinx out of Oklahoma, who knows how they're going to do? Who knows how they're going to place? Some of these choirs have already got a taste of each other a little bit here and there. It's going to be a fun one. Also, like the groups in performing order, like it is very interesting to me. Like Lincoln Southwest going first in the day in the mixed. Then it goes Standing Bear, Millard South, and then it goes Millard West in the middle of the pack. You have Grand Island Senior, Jinx, Norris, and then Gretna East, who I believe is the favorite. And I mean, off rip, I'm going to have them as one. I mean, having the win under their belt already, going into a competition like this, I feel like they just have the upper hand. Now, again, like, who knows? Millard West can come out of the gates and just be like, no, we are them this year. I mean, they truly could be. But I'm going to put them at 1. I'm going to put Gretna East at 1. This is, I mean, super hard. I don't know. A part of me kind of believes in the Lincoln Southwest arc. They didn't have the best outing their first time out. Got a win last week against solid competition. This is their third competition. Something tells me that they might show out of this competition. So I'm going to put them at the 2. I feel like a lot of people are reserving that spot maybe for Millard West. First time out, I just don't know how it's going to go. So I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to put them at the 3. The four, the four. I'm gonna put North Gold, and then I'm gonna put Grand Island Senior, and I'll put Jinx and then Grand Island Senior. Give Oklahoma their love in there. It's a mixed bunch, and again, this could go any way with how groups have already performed and how some haven't. This is just going to be an amazing show choir event, and if you are able to go, I would advise you to go.
Well, yes, I would also advise people able to go to a show choir competition this week to do so. Plenty of good food spots near Lincoln East as well. Go to Casa Bovina if you have a very thick wallet. That's at 84th and Havelock. Quinn, what do you have to say about this very, very intriguing lineup?
All right. So earlier in the season, I think Will knows this. Ethan, I don't know if you know this. I made the very bold prediction that Gretna East was going to go undefeated. And the first step to doing so was beating ATSC a few weeks back, which they did. Now they're going to arguably their hardest competition of the season, which is Lincoln East. Because I think if they get past this, they're good. But I did also I may or may not right before the show have seen Millard West show on YouTube. I may or may not have. I think the safest answer for me is to put Millard West in first with vocals, choreo, and band, and then put Gretna East in second. What else did I do? I did Lincoln Southwest in third because they've got that win under their belt already. Jenks in fourth. I don't know much about Jenks, but from what I've seen, like in terms of like records, it sounds pretty good. And then I'll put Millard South at fifth for doing pretty well last weekend. And then I'll throw Grand Island Senior at sixth place.
Man, you guys have covered pretty much all of it, so I'm just going to throw some predictions off rip. I'm not even going to do any captions on this.
Yeah,
Millard West 1, Gretna East 2, Lincoln Southwest 3, Jenks 4, Millard South 5, North 6.
We had the same top 5. Perfect.
Love that. Thank you. On the back of that, we're going to rip over to the Olentangy Keynote Classic, this one occurring in Columbus, Ohio, home of a university that shall not be named. In the large mixed division, the Center Grove Sound System, Fairfield Corliers, Laughlin by Request, Marysville Swingers Unlimited, Robert C. Byrd Vocal Intensity, Tees Valley Prominent Rendition, and Twinsburg Great Expectations. The small mixed division, Bishop Lures Minstrels, Martinsburg Good Times, Musselman Kaleidoscope, and Whitehall Yearling Music Unlimited. Ethan, we are seeing Center Grove and Marysville both hit the competition stage for the first time this season. This was a very tight battle between these two groups last season. Center Grove did miss some school this week. They missed yesterday and had a 2-hour delay today. What do you think goes down?
Before we begin, I want Will to read the judging panel.
Oh, wonderful. Let me pull this one up. The judging panel for the
I see it too.
I had to.
The judging panel for the Olentangy Keynote Classic 2026 is as follows. Adam Miller. He's the only listed judge on the Show Choir website.
That's all we need.
I am sure that there are more, but the concept of having Center Grove, Marysville, Fairfield, and Loveland adjudicated by any one person is a little bit silly.
I mean, it's happened before, kind of. I mean, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Could you just imagine just somebody sitting in the back of the room by themselves, just doing it based off one person's opinion? That would be insane. It's gonna be an amazing matchup. Just throwing Center Grove in this whole mix is awesome. I feel like you're giving a lot of groups an opportunity to get on the front page early, get in the headlines, get in the don't be in the tabloids, be on that front page headline, if they can steal a caption from an early Center Grove show, or maybe even beat them. It's one of those things where it's like early season, you never know what's going to happen. However, I feel like you just got to roll with Center Grove here. I mean, as your one, until proven wrong, right? It's kind of like the whole Linmar situation. They're kind of in that same boat. So, I'm rolling with Center Grove vocals. The thing that is kind of interesting to me is the Ohio groups being – Fairfield had a quiet, good season last year. I feel like they, it was like second and first. I don't believe they got a third unless they were at a really good competition. But they sat on the podium majority of the year. And then you have Loveland, who's already gone out, got a third place finish, but did get best vocals or best choreography, and I believe best band off the top of my head. But then, of course, you have Marysville, who's one of the strongest, choirs last year in the whole country. So I feel like this is just going to be such a competition to look back on later in the year and be like, okay, this is where things flipped, or the change of direction in Ohio, because I'll say it once and I'll say it again. Ohio is the most changing scene, I feel like, out there, because no one has a grasp truly at the top for more than 2-3 years. I feel like it's always changing. So I'm going to go Center Grove at the 1. I'm just going to ride with the horses, go Marysville at 2. I don't know. Something's telling me about Loveland this year. I'm going to put them at the 3, Fairfield at the 4, it being their first time out. I don't know if they still have that same momentum from last year. We will see. And then I'm going to roll with Robert C. Bird. And then I'm a Twinsburg guy. Southern Twinsburg.
Only 5 choirs make finals.
Oh, shoot. Then sadly Twinsburg and Tays Valley missed the cut barely for me. That's gonna be really tight though. Twinsburg and Tays Valley are really good choirs. So this is gonna be a great competition. I wish the best of luck to Adam Miller in judging this competition by himself. It's gonna be a tight one, and best of luck to all these choirs.
I do also want to talk about the women's division in this one. There will be 3 groups that advance to the women's finals. Some of the contenders, we have the Center Grove Debtones, Loveland Allure, Fairfield Pure Elegance, and Marysville Swinger Select. I tentatively have Center Grove in first, and then anything after that, I'm like, cool. Ohio's single gender groups seem to be like someone new is beating someone else each week, or at least that's how it seemed last season. So I frankly have nothing else. We have a comment that says caption split for Marysville and CG. Sure, why not? I don't see why not at this point. January.
I see like Loveland grabbing best choreography caption, and they could be anywhere from 4th to 2nd.
Sure. So let's say Center Grove takes show design, Marysville takes choreo, and Loveland takes vocals. And we have a nice little 1, 2, 3, everyone gets captions type deal. I will also roll Fairfield at the 4, and then give me Martinsburg Good Times at the 5 coming out of the small mix division. When Martinsburg is good, they are very good. And I hope they come out of the gate swinging this season. Always nice to see West Virginia choirs mix it up. Moving over to South Dakota, we have the Sioux Falls Roosevelt Executive Showcase. This one of the more interesting lineups that we will have this week in the large mix division: Aberdeen Central Eagle Express, Bellevue West West Connection, Fort Worth Southwest Southwest Effect, Harrisburg Eclipse, Hastings Uncaged, O'Gorman Ovation, Sioux Falls Jefferson Legacy, and Sioux Falls Washington Classic Connection. In the small mix division, Denison Singing Ambassadors, Fullerton 8th and Broadway, Sioux Center Satisfaction, Vermilion Rhythm and Red, and Woodbine Visual Harmonics. Quinn. Aberdeen, 2nd place at Sioux Falls Jefferson. Washington, all at 3rd place at Jefferson. Jefferson, 4th and 5th so far this season. Who's going to win? Please tell me.
I don't know. I'm
no. That's why we brought you on the show.
I'm as confused as you are. I looked at this lineup. I can't wrap my head around it, because I think there's like 9 realistic finalist contenders here, like realistically, and I think most of them are pretty even in terms of quality. I think no matter what, Aberdeen takes vocals. I think that happens no matter what, wherever they rank, if they win or don't. But what's throwing me off, there's a few things that are throwing me off right now. Hastings and Sioux Center right now because they just did their battle at Glenwood. And I watched a little bit of Hastings' show right before this. It's not too bad. I don't know how it's going to rank between the Sioux Falls schools. I don't know how Sioux Center is going to do, if they're going to like do better than Hastings. And then Fort Worth is a whole other beast that I don't even want to try to figure out right now.
We've got a new director this year.
Yeah, I don't even want to try to figure out how they're going to do. So I don't know.
And what about O'Gorman scoring that big win at
Yeah,
the
I was about to say.
I say that might help them a little bit, but I don't know. I
think about this. They have Sam Mulligan doing choreo and John Burles on the arrangements. I mean, that is what a team.
Yeah, but both Aberdeen and Washington beat them at Jefferson, so that doesn't matter. So I don't know. I'll go. I don't even have predictions written down for this one because I just said I don't know. Goofy cop. So that's what it says in the predictions. It just says goofy cop.
This is what our student guy says about the comp in his home state.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
I will also.
Will, we're just gonna throw stuff at a wall.
Yeah, I don't know. So I'll just, for safety, I'm gonna throw Jefferson in first with choreo. Then I want to throw Aberdeen in second with vocals and band. Then I'm going to throw Sioux Falls, Washington in third. Then I'm going to throw Hastings at fourth. Sioux Center at fifth. And Fort Worth at sixth. But I am not confident when I say that. I'm making stuff up right now. So I could not tell you. One thing that I would also like to point out, since we'll get to this in a little bit, but since Sioux City East is no longer going to Minnesota, if they wanted to try to make up a competition, Roosevelt's like not that far away from Sioux City, so they could. I don't know if they're going to try to pivot to that, but I could see that happening. And so if they come to this competition, that's a complete. It throws everything off, and I have no clue how this is going to go.
So the Saturday lineup at Sioux Falls Roosevelt includes 18 groups. Cool. And Sioux East is a 4-choir program. So if you do the math, if they were to get all of those choirs into the executive showcase, there'd be 22 groups on Saturday. I come from Wisconsin, where sometimes we squeeze up to 24 plus finals. Shout out Milton, bless your hearts, but please keep it under that number because you never run on time with that.
Real.
However, I don't know why they dropped Bloomington Kennedy. We could see them. We could not.
Yeah.
Ethan, do you have predictions?
Yeah, let's throw stuff at a wall. I also want to get now in a field like this, it's super hard for anyone to picture this. However, I do want to give some love to the choirs in tier 2. The two that stick out to me are Sioux City, I said Sioux City, Sioux Center, Satisfaction. Great outing at their first competition. And also I want to give some love to Vermilion. I mean, that's a choir that I know from South Dakota. That is not, one of the bigger ones. Very solid program. Sneaking into finals here would be really, really hard to do. However, if anyone could do it, it's those choirs. Throwing stuff at a wall. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go different from Quinn. I'm gonna go Aberdeen Central in the 1, Sioux Falls Jefferson 2. Give me O'Gorman at the 3. Sioux Falls Washington at the 4. Fort Worth Southwest at the 5. And then I'm gonna go Hastings at the 6.
All right, Will, what do you think? Your turn, Will.
Wow.
Your turn to try this.
Ethan, would you mind reading off the judging panel of the Sioux Falls?
No doubt. Yeah, wait.
Oh, of course.
Kim Chambers Auto, Anita Cranker, Cal Cross, Tom Kirking, Hannah Johnson, and Dylan Larson.
I just want to give a very quick welcome back to Cal Cross.
Welcome, Cal Cross.
Elkhorn South director, who is now teaching middle school music in Minneapolis. And I believe he is a Sioux Falls native. So good to see Mr. Cross on a judging panel. I know I was very curious to see what his next adventure would be after Elkhorn South, and super happy to see him on this panel. Throwing stuff at a wall. Quinn, I'm going to stick with most of your podium. In fact, I'm going to stick with your podium entirely. Give me Jefferson in first with choreo and band, Aberdeen second with vocals, Washington in third. Here's where it gets very hairy for me. I am all aboard the Sioux Center satisfaction train. Give me Sioux Center in fourth, Hastings in fifth, and O'Gorman in sixth. I just don't know if I can put Fort Worth Southwest in finals because, like you said, Quinn, you have no idea what they are.
No.
And I will be very happy to be wrong, but I have to go with stuff where I at least have some sort of rationale to back this up. So.
I will say, Will, the last time I checked, and if you're watching this, please correct me. I could be wrong. Jefferson is Legacy at least is ineligible from Best Band due to multiple adults, and they're unfortunately ineligible. So I don't see that happening. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, because I could very well be wrong about that. I'm talking about whoever's watching this.
Well, then I will change my pick to Hastings with Best Band, since that's a caption that they
congratulations.
So, all right, we have 2 more comps to cover, and we've got roughly 8 more minutes to do it. We will head to the Bloomington Kennedy Gold, the mixed division lineup for this one. Bemidji Vocal Motive, Bloomington Jefferson Connection, Eau Claire Memorial Old Abe Show Choir, Hastings, the Minnesota one, Riverside Company, North St. Paul Northern Lights, Sparta Upstage Adrenaline, Totino Grace Company of Singers, and Waconia Power Company. Of the groups that are here, we have Bloomington Jefferson coming off their win, as referenced in Ethan's We're So Back segment. Waconia coming off of back-to-back second places, as mentioned in our Milton segment. Sparta has beat Onalaska this year. Hastings has mixed it up with some great Iowa choirs. Eau Claire Memorial, North St. Paul, and Totino Grace have all notched finals appearances on their belt, and Bemidji is making their debut for the season. There's not a single choir that you can totally and completely count out of this evening round. Quinn, you will be at this competition. What is your read?
I will be here, and so will Chris. He's our contributor from California. We're going to meet at this competition. It'll be really fun. We were talking about this one a little earlier. I think Hastings sweeps no matter what, I think. And I'm going to put Waconia in second, because if they've only lost to DePure, that makes me optimistic about this competition. Sparta is the hardest one for me to figure out, because when I was talking to Chris, I said they're either going to get in the top 3 or 6th place. I don't know. There's going to be no in between for them. So I'm going to shoot for Sparta in third. I've liked what I've seen about their show. By the way, there are 3 Kevin Chase groups, 4 if you count Bloomington Kennedy. So at least 3 Kevin Chase groups competing at this. So choreo is going to be very. That's going to be. I want to see the rankings on this after it's done. I'll put Bloomington Jefferson in 4th just because of their win this past weekend. I'll put Bemidji in 5th, and then I'll put Totino Grace in 6th place.
Alrighty-o. Ethan, what fresh take do you have?
I don't know. I feel like this is a huge, prove it competition. I feel like there's a bunch of choirs here who have the opportunity to prove something. Whether it be Hastings, they didn't get a win their last time out. They got 4th. Right? Yeah. And it's tough, very tough field, but that's not where they see themselves. They always see podium. Waconia, like you said, was only lost to 1 group. So that it doesn't really tell you a lot, besides maybe if DePure is not here, maybe they can win this one. That's kind of how it is. Bemidji, a choir that kind of had a fall from grace from some really good show choir years. Still really good results overall. Just, not that pinnacle as it was, the Bemidji, I vividly remember. And, this being their first competition, who truly knows, where they're going to place. Bloomington Jefferson, they're so back. They have a good opportunity here to do something I think truly, truly special. If they can be at the top of the leaderboard by the end of the day, their jump is drastic. So something to keep your eye on. North St. Paul, amazing group. Totino Grace, also an amazing group that made finals last week. Sparta, of course, an amazing group, and the Memorial, an amazing group. However, I feel like Memorial's on the outside looking in overall. I feel like this lineup is just too darn good. I feel like I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm going to go Waconia at the 1. I think Waconia breaks through here. They've had 2 weeks of getting second, getting critiques, learning how to be better. I feel like this is a good opportunity for them to get the bounce up to that 1 spot. Hastings at the 2, another bounce up to them. Even though, actually, I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna go Hastings 1, Waconia 2. I feel like Hastings might take a huge jump. That's kind of where I'm going off this. Waconia 2. I'm gonna go Bloomington Jefferson at the 3. Sparta. I feel like they're gonna keep that good momentum. Sparta at the 4. Bemidji at the 5. And then I'm gonna take North St. Paul to round it out. Those are my predictions. Again, throwing them at a wall. Another great competition to be at. So Quinn, you are very, very lucky. And I hope you can show Chris around to some good eats.
I'll try. I'll sure try.
Oh golly, what would I recommend in the Bloomington area? Probably Crooked Pint. I think there's a Crooked Pint location in Prior Lake, which is just across the Minnesota River. Phenomenal burgers. Get a Juicy Lucy, absolute Minnesota staple. Also Red Cow in downtown Minneapolis, or I don't know. I'll think the third one eventually. The Anchor in Northeast Minneapolis, if you're going on Friday for the fish and chips. My predictions, throwing stuff at a wall. Let's go Hastings at the 1. Got to rep my Wisconsin groups. Sparta at the 2. Waconia at the 3. Bemidji at the 4. I have faith. Gunnar Ace has been there for a few years now. So I think Bemidji is slowly but surely returning to what they were. Bloomington Jefferson at the 5 and Totino at the 6. We're going to roll to a Tantascwa preview. We had a comment about this, and luckily enough, that was our last planned segment for the evening. So the Tantascwa Show Choir Spectacular, this one, the very first competition of the New England season. The lineup for this one in the large mixed division. Andover from start to finish, Daniel Hand Vibe, South Windsor Choral Spectrum, Waltham Music Unlimited. In the small mixed division, Bishop Hendricken Paramount from Rhode Island, Dartmouth Dynamics from Massachusetts, Hillsborough Legacy from New Jersey, Leominster Ignition from Massachusetts, Natick West Street Singers from Massachusetts, Oliver Ames Panache from Massachusetts, Scranton First Edition from Pennsylvania, and Shepherd Hill Fantasy from Massachusetts. Quinn, I'm just going to toss this one to you. Do you have predictions? Do you have anything you want to add? New England's a little bit of ways away from South Dakota, Nebraska.
I don't know. I've seen Daniel Hand Vibe and then Music Unlimited. I've seen them fight over pretty much all of last season. So I couldn't tell you. I think that's the top 2. That's all I can tell you. I don't know who's going to do better than the other. It's not my area of expertise. That's pretty much all I could give you. It's first, again, shocking. I know, shocking opinion. Daniel Hand Vibe, and then Waltham. Is that how you say it? Waltham. That's the top 2. That I know is so shocking, but that's the top 2 for you.
Ethan, I'm going to toss this one to you next. We have 8 choirs in the small mixed division. Your top 3 from last season are all back. That is Scranton, Natick, and Bishop Hendricken, all 3 coming from different states. Do we see that same top 3 this time around?
I think so, but maybe with a little tweak on the back end of that back 3. I do think Scranton's going to take it. Natick is an amazing choir. You tried to put me on last year, and you did. So I'm going to have them in that second spot. The battle between Bishop Hendricken and I know I mean, Shepherd Hill's always been an amazing choir. Dartmouth is an amazing choir. Leo Meister, amazing choir for the tier 2. And you know what? I tricked myself. I'm now going back to the Bishop Hendrickson to round out the top 3. Those are my top 3 in the tier 2. Quick shout out to the tier 1. I feel like Daniel Hand's going to get their get back from this competition last year. However, the only difference is this competition moved up like 2 weeks, or I don't know, is it 3 weeks?
Did it?
Yeah, it used to.
I don't think what.
It used to be after Shepherd Hill. You know,
I think
we're about
year over year. I think it's pretty much the same.
Tantascwa last year was February 8th.
Yep, he's right.
Okay, so it moved up a week.
A week. So it jumped Shepherd Hill, where people used to compete at Shepherd Hill before Tantascwa. So fair. that might change some things. Usually, these groups have a show under their belt at this point. I feel like Daniel Hand might have a bad taste in their mouth after letting this one slide to Waltham last year. It's going to be tight, but I'm going to roll Daniel Hand at the 1, and then I'm going to go Waltham, then South Windsor, and Andover at the 4 in tier 1. It's going to be a great competition.
Absolutely. I have nothing else to add except that Waltham and Daniel Hand will see each other a lot this season. So this is going to be the first round in what promises to be a very, very exciting battle. Also super excited to see Hillsborough Legacy rip up to the New England area. I know they had competed in Virginia before. I know they did get up to Bishop Hendricken last year, but seeing them in another New England competition, I think is super cool. With that being said, we have reached our 1 hour mark, which means that it is time to leave you all for another week of Show Choir. If you stuck around, please feel free to like this video and subscribe to the channel. If you're watching us on YouTube, or if you're on Spotify, feel free to rate the show, leave a comment, because you can do that on Spotify. So many competitions that we did not get to cover tonight. Ankeny Centennial, Davenport North, Sauk Prairie, so many more. I think we have like 18 on the docket for this weekend. All of the biggest storylines for the weekend will be right back here next week. For Quinn and Ethan, I am William. Have a great Show Choir weekend, and we'll see you next week on Tuesday.